Right now, I'm learning so much. I have a great community, the class that I'm kind of growing with every year. I've gotten close to everyone, and everyone's kind of like on the same journey. It's kind of this community outside of work of people who are kind of all at your same level, which just makes you feel like you're a part of something more than just going to work, going home. Like you get to kind of go learn more outside of work. Also, just have like this other community of people that also have their goals and ambitions in the same field as you.
What is a piece of advice you would give someone starting out in a trade?
Really, the only advice I could give is just doing your research. It really does depend on what trade. So, for plumbing, for instance, the best thing I did, which is when I was trying to figure out if this was for me and I was starting out, was just all the research I did on the internet, just trying to learn as much as I can and reading and also talking to other people who are already in the trades. If you don't know anyone who's in the trades, I would definitely look to social media. I've talked and have met so many people just from creating my page. I've learned so much from different people, and it's really just attaining as much knowledge as you can and talking to people who are in the trades, just kind of understanding their experience and seeing if that would be something that would fit with you and if you could do that.
Kind of building your network, trying to find people to chat with and pick their brain. That's a great tip. I mean, many people wouldn't even consider that. They'd probably be nervous to approach someone or ask questions. So building that base, building that network of people that could give you quick answers, someone you can text and get some feedback relatively quickly would be ideal at the start.
When I started learning about this whole world and really what their options, like always knowing about the trades, but I didn't know that much. I wasn't that knowledgeable, and I don't think there was that much information out there for us to learn. I've talked to other people, even in high school. I was like, okay, well, after high school, you're going to college. You have to go do this 4-year degree, and I just couldn't really find anything I really wanted to do. And it was like that was kind of the path. I think even like the outreach that even some trade schools do to high schools is really important. I feel like if I had known more sooner, or just had more information, or just more of a community talking about all of the advantages that come with joining a trade, I would have joined a lot earlier. Because there's some people who are around my age that are already journeymen just because they joined like maybe right out of high school, or they have a family member, someone who got them into that, and I didn't. It was all just from experience and everything that I learned from job security and wanting to just have something that I could grow in and feel independent. And then just what I experienced with the freeze that happened and just seeing how valuable it actually was. That's what led me here. I think it's so important to be able to put that message out there, like you're talking about Plumber Tom. Some young person stumbled on his page and learns things and then starts looking into different avenues. And I fell on the union, but other than the union, there's so many other aspects as well. It was kind of just like a step-by-step process. I was like, I think I can do this. I think I should just try it. And then over time, I just learned more and more. And then looking back now, it's like, oh, it would have been nice to have just known all of this sooner or at a younger age, just to get in a little earlier too. It's great. It's nothing but growing. So it's like, even if you're skeptical about getting in, but you're thinking about getting in, that was kind of where I was too. And just kind of taking that step, just getting out there really, just to see if it's for you.
One question we also get a lot is kind of the pros and cons on union versus non-union. Could you talk a little bit about that? Like why someone should go one way or the other, or maybe not why, but what you think are some of the things people should know on both sides?
So I'm sure it's different state to state, depending on union laws and how that all works. For me, when I got into the union here, it was just an interview process, and some of the pros, of course, are the yearly raises. That's just something that comes with being in the union. Healthcare is definitely an advantage as well, and retirement builds up as well. Some downsides about the union: you do have to pay every month. Say you're making $13 an hour starting out, which kind of where I was. You're just kind of having to keep up with like some payment stuff, which isn't too bad. They do give you some leniency and everything. Mandatory to make classes, or you might have to repeat a year. Everything is structured. I will just add that's kind of a big reason why I got in, because I just feel like I didn't have that knowledge and that structure as much, and the union offered that. Some other downsides is it can come with a little disadvantage, I think, with maybe starting a company. I could definitely be wrong. They may want you to start like a union-based company or just like hire union, which I definitely would being in it, but there are some different rules and regulations. So it's like, well, I don't know if I would be with union forever. Right now, I'm learning so much. I have a great community. The class that I'm kind of growing with every year, I've gotten close to everyone, and everyone's kind of like on the same journey. It's kind of this community outside of work of people who are kind of all at your same level, which just makes you feel like you're a part of something more than just going to work, going home. Like you get to kind of go learn more outside of work. Also just have like this other community of people that also have their goals and ambitions in the same field as you. As far as open shop, I don't know too much about open shop. Of course, I know a lot of people who have gone through open shop, and depending on the company that you get into, I mean, you can definitely have all these advantages as well. Sometimes not as much. I think with union, basically the thing that's great with it, I had said, is just I wasn't as knowledgeable. I didn't come from a family member who was already doing plumbing or got me into a trade or anything like that. So this was all kind of new for me. So it's like maybe if you have that, or you have that access, being able to go open shop or getting on Indeed and trying to research a company, trying to be an apprentice, there's a lot of work for it. I think with open shop, it's just you don't have those things you can fall back on as well. Say if you get laid off, you might need to go look for work on your own. With the union, you could be laid off here and there, but they'll try to get you back to work, and that's kind of their job to kind of help you out. But also we call it being on the bench, where, oh, like I'm on the bench, like you don't have work at the moment or something, and they're waiting for union companies to call you out for work. But if you're in the union for a while, you kind of get like word of mouth is like, oh, this person is good, and then different people will get to know you, and then they'll call you out to jobs. Like you kind of make connections almost, which can be really handy as well. Both open shop and union workers are going to be working at the same buildings. Everything's going to be joined. It's just kind of like where you are in your journey and what you're looking for. There's going to be pros and cons to both, really. I'm happy for what I joined, just not knowing as much as I did, and having that support and kind of like a little bit of a helping hand to get through all of it and have that community. It's been great. I definitely don't regret joining.